The door clicked shut behind me like a guilty verdict, the blinds rattling as Coach Michael yanked them closed, sealing us in from the emptying football field outside. His breath hitched, eyes locking onto mine with a hunger that had simmered through every parent-teacher conference, every sideline cheer for my son. "John," he whispered, voice rough as gravel. "I've waited too damn long for this." And before I could form a protest or a plea, his lips crashed into mine, tasting of regret and rain-soaked turf. I stumbled back against the desk, the edge biting into my hips, but Michael's hands were there, steadying me, pulling me closer like he'd mapped this moment in his dreams 1,000 times. My heart hammered, a wild drumbeat echoing the thunder rumbling over the Ohio skyline we'd both called home for too long. 42 years old, divorced, and raising Tommy alone since his mom bailed for a life in California that didn't include us. Me, the quiet accountant crunching numbers for a steel mill that was dying faster than this Rust Belt town. And him, Michael Hargrove, 45, the high school football coach everyone idolized, with his broad shoulders from years of tackling life head-on, salt and pepper hair cropped short under that ever-present ball cap, and a smile that could disarm a jury. It started innocently enough, or so I'd tell myself later, when the truth clawed its way out. Tommy's freshman year, he'd begged to try out for the team, my scrawny kid with the braces and the sketchbook full of comic heroes, dreaming of gridiron glory to escape the whispers about his weird dad who never dated, who baked pies for bake sales instead of grilling burgers with the other fathers. Michael had seen potential in him, or maybe just pity, pulling Tommy aside after tryouts with that booming laugh. "Kid, you've got heart. We'll build the muscle around it." From there, practices became my ritual, sitting on the bleachers with lukewarm coffee, watching Michael prowl the sidelines, barking orders that somehow sounded like poetry. His eyes would flick my way sometimes, lingering a beat too long, and I'd chalk it up to the chill wind off Lake Erie making me shiver. But tonight, after the playoff loss that gutted the whole town, Tommy's first real heartbreak on the field, Michael had caught me in the parking lot, rain slicking his polo to his chest. "John, wait. Office. Now." No explanation, just that command in his baritone that made my knees weak. And here we were, blinds drawn, the scent of his aftershave, pine and leather, mixing with the musty paper of old playbooks. His kiss deepened, urgent, like he'd been starving, and God help me, I kissed back. My fingers tangled in his damp hair, pulling him in, the world narrowing to the heat of his body against mine, solid and unyielding. We broke apart gasping, foreheads pressed together, his breath fanning my cheek. "This is crazy," I murmured, but my voice cracked with want. Michael's thumb traced my jaw, calloused from years of gripping footballs and maybe steering wheels too tight on lonely drives. "Crazy's what we've both been living, John. Hiding. From everyone." He stepped back, raking a hand through his hair, eyes stormy. "I'm sorry. Tommy's out there waiting, and I just shit," but he didn't move for the door. Neither did I. We talked then, haltingly, like men fumbling with a language we'd both forgotten. He confessed first, the wife who'd left him 5 years back for the same reasons mine had, the unspoken distance, the late nights he spent staring at the ceiling, wondering why every touch felt like a lie. No kids for them, just the echo of a house too big for one. He'd thrown himself into coaching, building boys into men while his own heart atrophied. "Seen you at every game," he said, voice low, steady as hell. Tommy adores you. Hell, half the team does. But it's more than that. It's you. I swallowed hard, the confession mirroring my own buried truths. I'd known I was gay since college, a fumbling hookup in a dorm that ended in panic and prayer. But life steamrolled ahead. Marriage to cover the cracks. Tommy's birth as the glue that held it. After the divorce, I dated women out of habit, but nothing stuck. Nothing felt right until those sidelong glances from Michael. The way he'd linger after practices to chat about Tommy's progress. His knee brushing mine on the bleachers. Feels like I've been waiting for you to say it, I admitted, and he laughed, a broken sound that tugged at something deep in my chest. He closed the gap again, slower this time, his mouth exploring mine with a tenderness that unraveled me. Hands roamed mine under his shirt, feeling the ridges of scars from old tackles, his sliding down my back, pulling me flush. We didn't go further. Not there. Not with Tommy texting me from the car. Dad, where are you? But as we straightened clothes and opened blinds, stealing one last kiss in the sliver of hallway light, I knew this was the start of something reckless. Something real. Driving home that night, wipers slapping rain from the windshield, Tommy chattered about the game, oblivious. Coach said I did good. That, even in the loss, I nodded, gripping the wheel, Michael's taste still on my lips. He knows talent when he sees it. Kid, inside, turmoil brewed, guilt for the secret blooming between his coach and me, fear of the town's small-minded stares. But under it, a spark, hope, fragile as a first down in overtime. The next weeks blurred into a secret rhythm. Stolen coffees at the diner on Route 12, where we'd sit in the corner booth, knees touching under the Formica table, talking dreams we'd shelved. Me wanting to write that novel about mill workers' ghosts. Him confessing a boyhood fiddle in Nashville before football called. Texts at midnight, miss your voice. Walks in the ravine behind my house. Hands brushing, then holding, until one evening under the sycamores. He kissed me properly, deeply, the world fading to just us. Tommy noticed the change in me first. You seem happy, Dad. Like glowing or something. I ruffled his hair, deflecting with a joke about pie crusts. But inside, terror gnawed. Michael and I were careful, never at school events, always alibis ready. But love, I learned, is a sloppy thief, leaving fingerprints everywhere. It crested on a crisp October Saturday, after Tommy's team crushed rivals 28-14. The field house buzzed with backslaps and beer cans smuggled in Gatorade bottles. Michael found me in the shadows by the equipment shed, pulling me into an embrace that lingered too long. Proud of your boy, he murmured into my neck. Proud of you. Our lips met, fierce and forgetting, until a cough shattered the moment. We sprang apart. There stood Derek, Michael's assistant coach, a burly ex-linebacker with eyes like chipped flint. Coach. Mr. Ellis. His gaze flicked between us, calculating. Didn't see you there. Michael played it cool, clapping my shoulder like old pals. Just thanking John for the snacks. But Derek's nod was tight, and as he walked away, I felt the noose of exposure tighten. That night, Michael called, voice edged with worry. Derek's solid. Known him 10 years. But we gotta be smarter. I agreed, but sleep evaded me, visions of pitchforks and prayers dancing in my head. Little did I know, the real storm was just gathering. November swept in like a linebacker, gray skies mirroring the unease settling in my gut. Practices grew brutal, the chill biting deeper, and Tommy threw himself into drills with a ferocity that both thrilled and exhausted me. "Gotta prove myself," he'd say, icing a sprained ankle. "Ice fierce." I saw Michael's influence there, the way he'd push without breaking, building resilience like layers of armor. But between us, the spark flickered, cautious now, our meetings paired to hurried lunches in his truck parked at the quarry's edge, where rusted machinery stood sentinel. One afternoon, fog thick as regret, we steamed the windows with confessions. "Never thought I'd feel this," Michael admitted, his hand warm on my thigh. Like coming home after years adrift, I traced the lines on his palm, stories etched in calluses. "Me neither. Tommy's my world, but you're the missing piece." We made love there, slow and shattering, the truck rocking gently, his whispers of my name a litany against the world's roar. Afterward, tangled in his jacket, we dreamed aloud, a cabin upstate, away from prying eyes, where we could build something honest. Reality intruded via Derek. He cornered Michael after a scrimmage, voice low but carrying on the wind. I overheard from the bleachers, pretending to scroll my phone. "Heard things, Coach, about you and Ellis." Town talk. Michael's response was steel. "Mind your plays, Derek." Not my life, but the seed was planted. Whispers slithered through the booster club, glances at potlucks, a mother's arched brow when I volunteered for concessions. "John's been different," one said to another, not quite hushed. I laughed it off, but isolation crept in, old wounds reopening. Tommy, bless him, became my anchor. We bonded over late-night pizza, him sketching play diagrams while I shared tales of my own awkward youth, omitting the parts where I first kissed a boy behind the bleachers, heart pounding with equal parts thrill and shame. "You're the best dad," he said one night, hugging me fierce. "Don't know what I'd do without you." Guilt twisted like a knife. How could I risk this family we'd clawed together? Michael felt it too. Our next rendezvous, at my place while Tommy was at a sleepover, he paced the kitchen, agitation rolling off him. "Derek's pushing for head coach next year. Thinks I'm slipping. Too distracted." He stopped, cupping my face. "Because of you. And it's worth every damn risk." We tumbled to the couch, urgency laced with desperation, bodies mapping promises we couldn't yet keep. But as he slept beside me, arm heavy across my chest, doubt whispered, was this love, or just a rebellion against lonely beds? The betrayal came swift, a gut punch on Thanksgiving Eve. I'd planned a quiet dinner, just me, Tommy, and a surprise visit from Michael, disguised as a team check-in. But as I basted the turkey, my phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number. "Ask your coach about the pictures." Attached, grainy shots from that quarry afternoon, truck windows fogged, our silhouettes unmistakable. Panic surged, hot and choking. I deleted them, hands shaking, but the damage was viral, forwarded, no doubt, to Derek, to the principal, to God knew who. Michael arrived pale, eyes haunted. "It's out." Derek showed me copies. Swears he didn't send them, but he's gloating. We barricaded in the den, Tommy upstairs oblivious, piecing together the fallout. Resign or be fired, Michael said flatly. They'll spin it as scandal, coach preying on parents. Rage boiled in me. Praying? This is us. Michael. Real. He pulled me close, trembling. I know. But Tommy. The team. I can't ruin them. We fought then. Words like shrapnel. You're quitting on us? I accused. Voice breaking. On this, he flinched. Not quitting. Protecting. You think I want to walk away? Tears streaked his face, mirroring mine. In the wreckage, truth surfaced. Derek's ambition, fueled by jealousy not just of the job, but of Michael's quiet strength, a rivalry simmering since college. He tailed us, snapped the pics, leaked them to force Michael's hand. Betrayal, petty and profound. Tommy burst in then, eyes wide at our disheveled state. What's wrong, coach? Michael's mask slipped back on, ruffling his hair. Just grown-up stuff, champ. Eat your pie. But Tommy's gaze sharpened, piecing puzzles only kids see clearly. Later, alone, Michael and I clung together, making frantic love on the rug, a defiant reclaiming. We'll fight this, he vowed into my skin. But dawn brought resignation papers, and with them, a chasm. The town turned feral. Anonymous calls to my work, pervert. Graffiti on my truck, fag dad. Tommy came home bruised, not from practice, but a locker room shove. Whispers of your old man's a queer. He confronted me in the kitchen, voice small. Is it true, Dad? About you and Coach? I crumbled, pulling him into a hug, spilling the story in halting breaths. Love, not sin. Michael, not monster. His tears soaked my shirt. I don't care. But they do. And it hurts. Michael vanished into strategy, lawyers, allies on the school board, but isolation clawed deeper. Our stolen moments turned desperate, each touch a farewell. One night, under street lamps flickering like faulty hope, he handed me a key. My cabin. Up in Hocking Hills. Go there when it's bad. Pocketed it, kissing him fierce. We go together. Endgame. But endgames have interceptions. Derek's play, a board meeting, testimonies twisted into accusations. Michael stood tall, voice steady, I'm gay. Proudly. And in love with a good man. Gasps rippled, but the vote was swift gone. He packed his office that night, trophies clinking like chains. I helped, silent, until he broke. What now? John, run, or fade? Winter clamped down hard, snow blanketing Canton like a shroud, muffling the town's venom but not erasing it. Michael moved to a cheap apartment on the edge of town, coaching youth leagues pro bono, his fire undimmed but eyes shadowed. We met in shadows too, motels off I-77, where neon buzzed judgment and bed springs creaked forgiveness. This isn't over, he'd murmur post-climax, tracing my collarbone. But doubt festered. My job teetered on rumors, clients pulling contracts with polite coughs about family values. Tommy adapted with teenage grit, switching to art club where misfits gathered, his sketches now fierce portraits of warriors. Us, I suspected. Coach coming for Christmas? He asked one night, casual as cocoa. I hesitated, then nodded. If the road's clear. It was a lie wrapped in hope. Michael was dodging process servers from Derek's lawsuit, slander claims to bury him deeper. The cabin became sanctuary. 30 miles south, nestled in Hocking Hill's ancient woods, it was Michael's boyhood escape, log walls, stone hearth, a porch overlooking fog-shrouded valleys. We fled there New Year's Eve, Tommy bundled in the back seat, pretending it was adventure. Fire crackled as we toasted with spiked cider, Michael's arm around my shoulders, Tommy sketching the flames. "To new beginnings," Michael said. "Eyes on me, deep as the ravines outside." Tommy raised his mug. "To not giving a shit what idiots think." Laughter bubbled, real and rare, but under it, fractures hummed. Climax brewed in February, frost-rhymed and furious. Derek escalated, leaking old emails, Michael's casual mentions of John's smile, twisted into predation. The local paper ran it, Scandal Rocks Gridiron, Coach's secret affair. Protests swelled, church groups at the school gates, signs screaming "Protect our boys." Tommy shielded me, fierce. "They're wrong, Dad. We know the truth." But school suspended him pending review, his world shrinking to online classes and my weary reassurances. Michael snapped. "Enough." He rallied, calling reporters, old teammates, even his ex-wife, who faxed a statement. "Mike's the best man I know. Let him love." A town hall loomed, battle lines drawn. I begged him to skip it. Let it die, but his jaw set. "No more hiding. For you. For Tommy. For every kid like us, scared of their own skin." The night before, at the cabin, tension peaked. Rain lashed the windows as we argued by the fire, me fearing mob rule, him chasing justice. "You think running fixes this?" he shouted, voice echoing off beams. "It buries us alive." I grabbed his shirt, pulling him close, anger flipping to ache. "I can't lose you." Not to them. Our kiss was war. Teeth and tears, bodies colliding on the bearskin rug, reclaiming fury as fuel. He moved inside me with a desperation that bordered on prayer, whispering, "You're my end zone, John. Always." Dawn found us spent, entwined, resolve hardening like ice. Town hall packed the rec center, air thick with sweat and suspicion. Derek preened at the podium, droning about moral decay, his eyes gleaming triumph. Michael waited his turn, hand squeezing mine under the table, Tommy on my other side, sketchpad clutched like armor. When called, Michael rose, voice steady thunder. "I'm here not to beg forgiveness, but to claim my life." He spoke of love's quiet courage, of coaching not just bodies but souls, of Derek's envy masquerading as virtue. Gasps, murmurs, a few claps. Then he turned to me. "John Ellis saved me from myself. His son, Tommy, reminds me why we fight, for futures without fear." Chaos erupted, shouts, a chair scraping, Derek lunging forward with venom. "Liar! You groomed them." Fists flew before security swarmed. Michael's lips split, blood blooming on his collar. I surged forward, Tommy yelling, "Stop!" as we dragged him out into the sleet. In the parking lot, sirens wailing, Michael spat red onto asphalt. "Worth it," he grinned through pain, but his eyes haunted. Betrayal's second wave hit via unlikely messenger. Michael's ex, calling from Nashville. "Derek's not done. He's got a tape your quarry talk, edited to sound damning." Paranoia peaked. We holed up at the cabin, phones off, world reduced to wood smoke and whispers. Tommy broke the silence one stormy night. Voice cracking, "I recorded something. For you." He played it, a video from his phone. Him at the town hall mic during open comments. "My dad's gay. Coach too. And they're heroes. Derek's the bully." It went viral overnight. Shares rippling from Cleveland to Columbus. Hashtags like Canton Hearts demanding truth. Support surged, letters, calls. A rival coach outing his own story in solidarity. Derek's house of cards toppled. Evidence surfaced of his tampering. Lawsuits reversed. But victory tasted bittersweet. Michael's job? Gone. But offers trickled in college scouting. Online mentoring. Mind stabilized. Clients returning with awkward apologies. Yet scars lingered. Tommy's therapy sessions for the bullying. My nightmares of lost sons. Spring thawed the hills. Greening tentative. We rebuilt in fragments. Michael crashing at my place. Tommy's blessing a quiet about time. Picnics by the river. Hands linked openly now. Small rebellions against stairs. One evening, sycamores budding, Michael dropped to one knee on the porch. Not a ring, just a promise. "Marry me, John." Not for show. For us. Tears blurred him. I pulled him up, kissing yes into existence. Tommy hooped from the swing, sketching our silhouette against sunset. Summer hummed in on cicada wings, Canton shedding its winter husk like a snake molting grudgingly. The scandal's embers smoldered into gossip fodder. Derek slinking to a job in Toledo with his tail tucked. Whispers fading to shrugs. Michael and I navigated the new normal with cautious joy. Mornings tangled in sheets. Coffee brewed strong. Tommy's eye rolls at our PDA, a badge of acceptance. He bloomed too. Art scholarship whispers from Ohio State. His comics now featuring caped crusaders with two dads. Fierce and unapologetic. We escaped to the cabin often, turning it into our haven. Weekends chopping wood. Michael shirtless and sweat slick. Axe swinging with that focus grace that still stole my breath. I'd watch from the porch, heart full, sketching him in my mind for the novel I'd finally started, Rust and Rain, a tale of mill ghosts finding love in unlikely arms. "You're my muse," I tease, pulling him into the hammock for lazy kisses, the world a distant hum. But peace is fragile, a truce with undercurrents. Michael's restlessness surfaced in July, post a youth camp where a boy's hesitant coming out mirrored his own buried youth. "Should have fought harder back then," he confessed over campfire embers. Tommy roasting marshmallows nearby. "Told my old man I liked boys, not barbells." His father, a steelworker dead a decade, loomed large, approving nods for touchdowns, silence for tears. I squeezed his hand. "You fight now." "That's enough." Tommy overheard, piping up, "Grandpa would have come around." Like I did. Michael's eyes misted. He ruffled the kid's hair, pulling us both into a hug that smelled of pine and promise. But later, alone, he admitted the ache. "Want more than this hideaway life. Want to stand tall. Everywhere." I nodded, but fear flickered. "Parades. Yes. But picket lines? Our love, hard won, felt too tender for fresh battles." August brought the storm, literal and not. A heat wave cracked, thunderheads rolling in like uninvited kin. Michael's phone rang mid-dinner. His sister, Lila, from Atlanta. "Dad's will reading. Tomorrow. You coming?" Silence stretched. Their father had died intestate, farm and grudges divided among three. Michael hadn't spoken to family since the divorce. Bridges burned in Bible Belt fire. "Tell him no," he muttered, hanging up. But I saw the pull roots tangled deep. "Go," I urged that night, bodies cooling in the loft. "Face it." For closure, he traced my ribs, reluctant. "They'll smell it on me." "Us." Tommy, eavesdropping again, chimed in from the ladder. "Take Dad. Show 'em we're family." Michael's laugh was watery. "Bossy bunch. You too." By dawn, we'd packed, me shotgun. Tommy vetoed for camp. The drive south blurred interstates and memories, Michael white-knuckling the wheel through Tennessee hills. The farm squatted unchanged. Sagging barn, fields gold with soy. Siblings waited. Lila, sharp-eyed nurse. Brother Tim, a burly mechanic with a Confederate flag bumper sticker that twisted my gut. Greetings stiff. Hugs obligatory. The lawyer droned assets. Land to Tim, house to Lila. Michael's share a pittance in tools and a letter. "Read private," the man said, envelope sealed. Alone in the old tack room, Michael tore it open, face crumpling. "Son," it began, faded ink from a man who never said much alive. "Proud of your fight. But life's more than fields. Find your peace, whatever it looks like. Love, Dad." No sermons, no slurs, just quiet grace. Michael sobbed then, raw and releasing, collapsing into my arms. He knew. Somehow, I held him, whispering nonsense about stars aligning late. Dinner thawed slightly, Lila's meatloaf, Tim's awkward jokes about old pranks. Wine loosened tongues. Michael tested waters. Casual, John's partner. "We're engaged." Forks paused. Lila smiled tentative. "'Bout time you settled." Tim grunted. Then, "Long as you're happy. Bro." No fanfare, but acceptance, human, halting. We left lighter, envelope tucked in Michael's pocket like absolution. Back home, euphoria peaked. Engagement news spread. Small party at the diner. Friends toasting with milkshakes. Tommy's toast slaying. "To the guys who taught me love wins tackles." Michael and I danced slow in the lot under string lights, his hand warm at my waist. "This is it," he breathed. Our victory lap. Fall crept in golden. Tommy's senior year kicking off with varsity starts. Michael advising from the stands. Our fingers laced defiantly. But betrayal's echo lingered in shadows. One crisp game night, post-touchdown roar. Derek appeared, uninvited, coaching a peewee squad nearby. He cornered Michael by the fence. Voice oily, "Thought you'd slink away." But I got more. Videos. From the cabin. Bluff or blade? Michael's face hardened. "Blackmail's your game now?" Pathetic. Derek smirked. "Pay up, or it hits the net." Tommy's college dreams? Poof. Rage blinded me. I shoved forward, but Michael held me back. "Not worth it." We reported it, cops unimpressed without proof, but sleep fled. Nights blurred into paranoia. Checking locks, scanning crowds. Love, once shelter, now siege. Climax crashed mid-October, leaves aflame. Tommy's big game, state qualifiers, drew crowds, tension electric. Michael and I sat front row, hands hidden but hearts open. Halftime, Derek's broadcast hit. Grainy cabin footage, edited to imply coercion, aired on a shady forum, linked by bots. Phones buzzed outrage, stands murmured. Tommy, botting us, charged over. Ignore it. Win this. But the ref's whistle blew, and the second half turned slaughter. Opponents piling on. Tommy sacked hard. Stretcher bound. Hospital lights harsh. Michael's hand crushed mine as docs cleared him. Bruised ribs. No breaks. In the room, Tommy wept. They did this. Derek. Vengeance surged. We pressed charges. Allies amplifying, reporters hounding Derek. His job evaporating. But the cost. Tommy's spirit cracked. Sketches abandoned. Eyes distant. Michael and I hit rock. Fighting in whispers by the vending machine. Should have ended it sooner, I hissed. Your pride, he whirled. My pride? This is our life. Words escalated. Old fears unearthed. Abandonment. Unworthiness. We stormed out separate. First real rift. November's chill mirrored the frost between us. Tommy's recovery a limbo of painkillers and physio. He rallied slow. Art resuming in fits. Dark strokes of storms giving way to dawns. You two fix it, he ordered from his bed, voice brooking no bull. Or I'll disown you both. Humor, his weapon, pierced the ice. Michael and I circled warily. Texts terse. Meetings mediated by takeout. The cabin called. We drove there silent. Snow dusting the drive. Inside, fire kindled grudgingly, mirroring us. I'm scared, Michael admitted first, poking embers. Of losing you to this mess. I knelt beside him, hand on his knee. Scared of losing myself. But not to you. Apologies flowed. Raw as runoff, fears of inadequacy. Echoes of past rejections. We made love by the hearth. Gentle, rediscovering. His scars under my lips. My doubts hushed by his vows. Renewal sparked. Derek's empire crumbled. Arrest for extortion. Videos debunked as deepfakes by a tech-savvy ally. Town sentiment shifted. Editorials decried witch hunts. A pride flag fluttering defiantly at the school. Michael's youth league swelled. Boys seeking more than plays. Mentors for hidden hearts. Christmas healed deeper. We hosted. Lila visiting. Tim Skyping toasts. Tommy's comics gifted as family lore. Michael's ring on my finger. Simple gold band engraved end zone. Caught lights like stars. To us, we clinked. Chorus. Spring unfurled verdant. Tommy's graduation a triumph. Valedictorian nod. Art portfolio bound for OSU. His speech. Unscripted. Love isn't a penalty flag. It's the play that changes everything. Cheers thundered. Michael and I stood. Arms around him. Tears mingling. Summer wedding at the cabin, small. Sacred. Vows under sycamores. Michael's you're my forever first down. Mine in every huddle. Every heartbreak. You, Tommy best man. Lila matron. Friends from fringes now core. Dance floor a porch. Slow spinning to Springsteen. His hand steady at my back. Years blurred forward. Tommy thrived. Graphic novels lauded. Coming out his own way. Steady boyfriend with a Skechers soul. Michael coached nationally. Seminars on inclusive sports. His book Gridiron Grace a quiet bestseller. I finished Rust and Rain. Dedicated to them. For the men who taught me home. We aged into silver. Cabin Creek's companions. One autumn eve. Porch rockers creaking. Michael's head on my shoulder. Best call I ever made, he murmured. Closing those blinds. I kissed his temple. Best tackle of my life. In the end, our end. Decades on, humanity won not in grand gestures, but quiet holdings. Hands clasped through storms. Love a constant. Unyielded. No tragedy. Just triumph worn. Real. American as apple pie and underdog cheers.